Life. It's a mystery, a puzzle, a question without an answer. Why are we here? What drives us? What makes our hearts race? Our minds wander, our souls ache.
You felt it, haven't you? That restless pull, that nagging doubt, that whisper in the dark asking, who am I? It's universal. It's human. It's the riddle we all carry. And most of us spend our lives running from it, distracting ourselves, filling the silence with noise. But the riddle remains, unanswered, unexplored, waiting. What if someone dared to face it? What if someone looked into the abyss of existence and didn't flinch? Someone who didn't just ask the questions, but sought the answers. Someone who unraveled life's secrets, not to solve it like a math problem, but to embrace it like a story. That someone was Carl Jung, a man who didn't shy away from the chaos, a man who dove into the depths of the human soul, a man who saw life not as a problem to be fixed, but as a journey to be lived. Jung wasn't just a psychologist. He was a seeker, a philosopher, a poet of the psyche. He believed life wasn't random, not meaningless. It was a tapestry, woven with threads of light and shadow, of conscious choices and hidden truths. He looked at the riddle and saw patterns, archetypes, symbols, a map to the self. He didn't claim to have all the answers, but he gave us tools to navigate the unknown, tools to understand ourselves, tools to live fully. Why does this matter? Why should you care about a man who lived a century ago? Because his work speaks to you. Right now, in this moment, you're wrestling with the same questions he did. Why do I feel lost? What's my purpose? How do I make sense of this chaos? Jung's life was a quest to answer those questions, not just for himself, but for all of us. He faced his fears, his doubts, his darkness, and in doing so, he lit a path for us to follow. Let's talk about you. You're here, listening this, searching. Maybe you're at a crossroads. Maybe you're feeling stuck. Maybe you're chasing something you can't name. That's the riddle calling. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It's quiet, subtle, a whisper in your soul. It's asking you to stop, to listen, to look within. But looking within is scary. It's raw. It's real. It means facing the parts of yourself you've ignored, the parts you've hidden, the parts that make you human. Jung knew this fear. He lived it. In his 40s, he faced a crisis. His world crumbled. Friends turned away. His career faltered. He could have given up, could have played it safe, but he didn't. He leaned in. He retreated to a quiet house by a lake. He sat with his thoughts, his dreams, his shadows, and there, in the silence, he found something extraordinary. Himself, not the polished version, not the mask he wore for the world, the real him, flawed, complex, alive. This is what makes Jung's work timeless. He didn't just theorize, he lived his theories. He showed us that the riddle of life isn't something to solve. It's something to explore, to embrace, to dance with. He once said, "Life is a problem that always remains unsolved, but it must be lived." That's the heart of it. Life isn't about finding all the answers. It's about asking better questions. It's about daring to live in the uncertainty, to find meaning in the mess. But here's the hard truth. Most of us don't want to face the riddle. It's easier to stay busy, to scroll through screens, to chase goals that don't fulfill us, to wear masks that don't fit. But the riddle doesn't go away. It waits, patiently, relentlessly, and the longer you avoid it, the heavier it becomes, the more it weighs on your heart, your mind, your soul. Jung knew this. He knew that ignoring the riddle leads to emptiness, to a life half-lived, to a self half-known. So what if you stopped running? What if you turned toward the riddle? What if you followed Jung's lead and dared to explore the depths of your own existence? This journey isn't easy. It's not clean. It's not linear. But it's worth it, because on the other side is something profound. Not answers necessarily, but understanding, clarity, purpose, a life that feels like yours. In this video, we'll walk the path Jung laid out. We'll explore his ideas, his shadows, his archetypes, his quest for meaning. We'll see how they apply to you, to your struggles, your dreams, your questions. We'll uncover practical tools to help you face the riddle, to unravel your own life, to become the person you were meant to be. You're not perfect. Nobody is. You have flaws, secrets, things you hide, things you're ashamed of, things you don't even admit to yourself. They lurk in the corners of your mind, in the quiet moments, in the choices you avoid. This is your shadow, the dark side, The part you push away, the part you fear. Carl Jung knew it well. He called it the shadow, and he believed it holds the key to understanding yourself, the key to unraveling life. What is the shadow? It's not evil, not a monster. It's you, the parts you reject, the anger you suppress, the dreams you abandon, the weaknesses you deny. It's the voice you silence, the truth you dodge, the self you pretend doesn't exist. But it does, always. And the more you ignore it, the louder it gets, the heavier it weighs, the more it shapes your life, without you even knowing. Why does this matter? Why face something so uncomfortable? Because the shadow isn't just a burden. It's a teacher, a guide, a mirror. Jung believed that to live fully, you must meet your shadow, not fight it, not hide from it. Meet it, embrace it, understand it. Only then can you grow. Only then can you become whole. But here's the question. Are you brave enough? Brave enough to look at the parts of yourself you've buried? Brave enough to face the shadow within? Jung didn't just theorize about this. He lived it. In his 40s, he faced a crisis. His world fell apart. He broke with his mentor, Freud. Lost friends. Lost status. He was alone. Adrift. Doubting everything. But instead of running, he turned inward. He retreated to a quiet house by Lake Zurich. He sat with his thoughts, his fears, his darkness. He wrote in his journal, sketched his dreams, confronted his shadow. And in that confrontation, he found himself. Until you make the unconscious conscious, Jung wrote, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. That's the power of the shadow. It's not just what you hide, it's what controls you, until you face it. But let's be real. Facing the shadow is terrifying. It's raw, it's messy, it's painful. You'll see things you don't like, things you've done, things you've felt, things you've buried, the anger you didn't express, the hurt you didn't heal, the dreams you let die. It's like opening a locked door. Behind it, memories, regrets, truths. And once you open it, you can't unsee what's there. That's the brutal truth. You can't run forever. The shadow will catch up. It always does. And when it does, it's not gentle. It's relentless. It demands to be seen. Look at someone like Frida Kahlo. Her life was a canvas of pain. Physical, emotional. A bus accident left her broken, bedridden, alone. But she didn't hide from her shadow. She painted it. Her self-portraits are raw, unflinching. They show her wounds, her grief, her strength. I am not sick, she said. I am broken, but I am happy to be alive as long as I can paint. Her shadow wasn't her enemy. It was her muse. It fueled her art, her courage, her life. She faced it, and it made her unforgettable. So, how do you face your shadow? How do you start this journey? It's not about grand gestures, not about fixing everything at once. It's about small steps, quiet moments, honest questions. One powerful way is through self-reflection, not casual thinking, deep, intentional reflection. It's like holding a mirror to your soul. It's uncomfortable, it's revealing, but it's necessary. Here's a skill to try, shadow journaling. It's simple, but profound. Grab a notebook, a pen, find a quiet space. No distractions, no phone, just you, and start writing. Ask yourself hard questions. What am I ashamed of? What do I avoid thinking about? What truths do I hide from myself? Write without judgment, without editing. Let the words flow. Messy, raw, honest. Don't hold back. If it's painful, write through it. If it's scary, keep going. This is your shadow speaking. Let it speak. Try these prompts to guide you. What's one thing I've done that I regret? Why does it still hurt? What part of myself do I hide from others? Why? What dream have I given up on? What stopped me? What emotion do I suppress the most? What would happen if I let it out? Do this for 5 minutes a day, or 10. Start small. Be consistent. Over time, you'll see patterns. Truths will emerge. You'll start to understand your shadow, not as a threat, but as a part of you, a part that needs love, acceptance, integration. This isn't easy. It's work, hard work. You'll want to stop, to distract yourself, to go back to the noise. But don't. Keep going, because the shadow isn't just your darkness. It's your potential, your creativity, your strength. Jung believed that in the shadow lies your greatest gifts. The parts you've rejected are often the parts that make you unique, powerful, alive. What would happen if you faced your shadow? What would change? Your relationships, your choices, your life. These aren't just questions. They're invitations. Invitations to be brave, to be honest, to be whole. Jung didn't just unravel life for himself. He showed us how to do it for ourselves. He showed us that the shadow isn't something to fear. It's something to embrace, to learn from, to grow with. So take a deep breath. Pick up that pen. Open that door. Meet your shadow. It's waiting, not to hurt you, not to judge you, but to help you, to guide you, to make you whole. Because the riddle of life isn't solved by avoiding the darkness. It's solved by walking through it. You're not whole. Not yet. Pieces of you are scattered. Light, dark, dreams, fears. You're a puzzle, half assembled, half hidden. You feel it, don't you? The pull, the longing, to be complete, to be yourself, truly yourself. Not the mask you wear, not the role you play, the real you, raw, authentic, alive. This is what Carl Jung called individuation, the journey to wholeness, the path to yourself. What does it mean? To become whole. It's not perfection. It's not erasing flaws. It's integration, bringing together the fragments, the conscious, the unconscious, the shadow we explored last chapter, the light you embrace, the darkness you avoid. Individuation is the process, the work, the courage to face all of you, to weave it into one, into you. Why is this so hard? Why does it feel impossible? Because it's a battle, against fear, against doubt, against the world. Society wants you to conform, to fit in, to be predictable. But individuation is rebellion. It's saying no. No to the masks. No to the expectations. No to the half-lived life. It's saying yes. Yes to your truth. Yes to your complexity. Yes to your soul. Jung knew this path. He walked it. He didn't just study the psyche. He lived it, breathed it, wrestled with it. He saw individuation as the heart of human growth. Not a destination, not a finish line. A journey, always unfolding, always challenging, always beautiful. The privilege of a lifetime, Jung wrote, is to become who you truly are. That's the essence of it. Becoming, not arriving, not achieving, becoming. But what does it take to walk this path? Courage, honesty, patience. You must face the shadow, the parts you hide, the anger, the shame, the dreams you buried. You must also embrace the light, your strengths, your passions, your hopes. It's not one or the other. It's both, light and dark, together. That's wholeness. That's you. Ask yourself, when were you last honest? Truly honest? With yourself, not with others, not with the world. With you. When did you last listen? To your heart, to your fears, to your dreams. These questions sting. They cut, because they demand truth. And truth is heavy. It's raw. It's real. But it's also liberating. It's the first step, the first breath, the first moment of becoming. Here's the brutal truth. Most people don't take this path. It's too hard, too lonely, too uncertain. They choose comfort, safety, routine. They live on the surface, smiling, performing, hiding. But the cost is high. A life half-lived, a self half-known, emptiness, regret, the ache of what could have been. Jung saw this. He warned us. He urged us to choose differently, to choose ourselves. Individuation isn't easy. It's messy. It's painful. You'll stumble. You'll doubt. You'll want to turn back. But you won't. Because deep down, you know this is your path, your truth, your life. Every step forward is a step toward you, the real you, not the version others expect, not the version you've settled for, the you that's waiting, patiently, quietly, fiercely. What would it feel like? To be whole, to wake up each day knowing you're living your truth, not someone else's, not society's, yours. It's not about being perfect. It's about being real, flawed, human, alive. It's about looking in the mirror and seeing yourself, not a stranger, not a mask. You. Jung believed this is why we're here. Not to chase wealth, not to collect titles, not to please others, to become ourselves, to unravel the riddle of our own existence, to live with purpose, with meaning, with courage. But it starts with a choice to stop running, to stop hiding, to start walking toward yourself. So where are you now? Are you ready? Ready to take that step? Ready to face the mess? The beauty? The truth? The path isn't straight. It's winding. It's steep. But it's yours. And every moment you choose it, you're closer. Closer to wholeness. Closer to you. Jung didn't just unravel life for himself. He showed us how. He gave us a map. Not to follow blindly, but to guide us. To inspire us. To remind us, you are enough. You are complex. You are worthy. Start walking. Patterns, symbols, stories. They're everywhere. In your dreams, in your choices, in your soul. They're not random. They're ancient, universal, eternal. They're archetypes, the language of the soul. Carl Jung saw them, named them, understood them. He believed they're the threads of human experience, woven into us all, guiding us, shaping us, whispering truths we barely hear. What are archetypes? They're not just ideas. They're forces, deep within. The hero, the sage, the lover, the shadow. They're the roles we play, the masks we wear, the stories we live. Jung called them the building blocks of the psyche, shared across cultures, across time. They're in myths, in fairy tales, in you. They're the voice of the collective unconscious, speaking through your thoughts, your desires, your fears. Why do they matter? Why should you care? Because they're you, your essence, your drives, your struggles. The hero pushes you to act, to overcome. The sage urges you to seek wisdom, to question. The lover draws you to connect, to feel. The shadow hides your pain, your doubts, your secrets. Archetypes aren't distant concepts. They're alive, in every choice you make, in every dream you chase. But here's the question: which archetype is speaking through you? Which one guides your steps? Is it the explorer, craving adventure? The caregiver, nurturing others? Or the rebel, defying the rules? You're not just one, you're many. A tapestry of archetypes, shifting, evolving, defining who you are, moment by moment, day by day. Jung didn't just discover archetypes. He felt them, lived them. He saw them as the soul's language, a bridge to the eternal, to the infinite. Archetypes are like riverbeds, he wrote, which dry up when the water deserts them, but which it can find again at any time. They're always there, waiting, ready to guide you. If you listen, if you look, if you dare. But looking is hard. It's raw. It's real. Archetypes reveal truths about you, about your fears, your desires, your purpose. They ask, what drives you? What holds you back? What story are you telling? The answers aren't easy. They're deep. They're hidden, buried in the unconscious, waiting for you to uncover them, to claim them, to live them. Ignoring archetypes is ignoring yourself. They're not abstract. They're personal. They shape your reactions, your relationships, your life. Deny them and you're lost. Adrift in a sea of confusion. Embrace them and you're found. Anchored, alive. They're not just ideas. They're your soul's voice. Speaking, singing, screaming. What would happen if you listened? If you let the archetypes guide you, would you find your purpose, your strength, your truth? Jung believed they hold the key to understanding, to meaning, to wholeness. They're not just patterns, they're pathways, to yourself, to the world, to the infinite. Think about it. Every choice you make, every dream you chase, every fear you face, there's an archetype behind it. The hero pushing you forward, the sage whispering wisdom, the shadow lurking in doubt. They're not separate from you. They're within you, part of you, always. And when you see them, you see yourself. Clearly, truly, fully. This isn't just philosophy. It's life. Your life. Archetypes are the stories you live, the roles you play, the truths you embody. They're not fixed. They shift. They grow. As you grow, they're dynamic, fluid, alive, and they're calling you to explore, to understand, to become. So, what's your story? Which archetype is loudest? Which one is silent? Which one are you ignoring? These aren't idle questions. They're urgent. They're vital. They're the language of your soul. Jung didn't just name archetypes. He gave us a map, a way to navigate the chaos, to find meaning in the mess, to unravel the riddle of life. What is the purpose of your life? Why are you here? These questions linger in the quiet moments, demanding answers that often feel just out of reach. They are not mere curiosities. They are the heartbeat of existence, the pulse that drives us forward or leaves us adrift. Carl Jung, a man who dedicated his life to unraveling the mysteries of the human psyche, believed that finding meaning is not a luxury but a necessity. Without it, we wander through life, lost in a fog of routine and distraction. With it, we ignite, living with intention, clarity, and purpose. This chapter explores Jung's insights on the meaning of life and invites you to discover your own mission, a calling that is uniquely yours. Jung saw life as more than a series of events or accomplishments. He viewed it as a journey toward wholeness, a quest to align your actions with your deepest truths. For him, meaning was not found in external rewards, wealth, status, or applause, but in the inner work of becoming yourself. He believed that each of us carries a spark, a purpose that waits to be uncovered. But uncovering it requires courage, introspection, and a willingness to ask hard questions. What sets your soul on fire? What legacy do you want to leave? What makes your life feel worth living? These questions are daunting because they force us to confront our fears and doubts. They challenge us to look beyond the surface, beyond the expectations of others, and into the core of who we are. Jung understood this struggle. He taught that meaning is not a universal formula, but a personal discovery, unique to each individual. It is not something you find once and hold forever. It evolves as you grow, shifting with your experiences and insights. Yet, the search itself is transformative. It gives direction to your choices, depth to your days, and fire to your spirit. Many people avoid this search. It's easier to follow the path laid out by society, to chase success, security, or approval. But this comes at a cost. A life without meaning feels hollow, like a house with no warmth. Jung warned against this emptiness, calling it a betrayal of the self. He wrote, "The meaning of life is not to be found in mere existence, but in the unfolding of the soul. To live without purpose is to drift, to let the days slip by without ever truly living. But to seek meaning is to claim your life, to make it your own, to shape it with intention." So, how do you find your mission? How do you uncover the purpose that makes your heart beat faster? It begins with listening to your desires, your values, your inner voice. It requires you to pause and reflect, to ask what truly matters to you. Is it creating something beautiful? Helping others? Exploring new ideas? Your mission doesn't have to be grand or world-changing. It can be as simple as living with kindness, pursuing a passion, or building a life of integrity. What matters is that it resonates with you, that it feels like a calling you can't ignore. The journey to meaning is not a straight line. It's a winding path full of detours and doubts. You'll face moments of uncertainty when the way forward seems unclear. You'll confront fears of failure, of judgment, of not being enough. But these challenges are part of the process. They refine you, sharpening your sense of purpose. Jung believed that meaning emerges from struggle, from the tension between who you are and who you could become. It's in those moments of difficulty that you discover what you're made of, what you're meant to do. What would your life look like if you lived with purpose? How would it feel to wake up each day knowing you're aligned with your mission? These questions are not just thought exercises. They are invitations to act, to choose, to live differently. They ask you to be brave, to step away from the familiar and into the unknown. Because that's where meaning lives, in the courage to follow your truth, even when it's hard, even when it's scary. To help you begin this journey, here's a practical skill: crafting a personal mission statement. This is a clear, concise declaration of your purpose, a guiding star for your decisions and actions. To create it, set aside time in a quiet space. Reflect on these questions. What do I value most? What impact do I want to have? What brings me joy and fulfillment? Write down your thoughts, letting them flow freely. Then, distill them into a single sentence that captures your mission. For example, my mission is to inspire others through creative expression. Or, my mission is to live with compassion and integrity, uplifting those around me. Once you have your statement, keep it close. Write it in your journal. Pin it to your wall. Let it remind you of your purpose when life feels chaotic or uncertain. Use it as a filter for your choices. Does this decision align with my mission? This practice isn't about locking yourself into one path. It's about giving yourself clarity and direction. Your mission can evolve just as you do, but having it written down anchors you, giving you a touchstone to return to. The beauty of this journey is that it's yours. No one else can define your meaning. No one else can choose your mission. Jung's work reminds us that life is not about following someone else's script. It's about writing your own. It's about daring to ask, what is my purpose? And having the courage to live the answer. It's about unraveling the riddle of your own existence, one step, one question, one truth at a time. So what's your mission? What makes your life meaningful? What will you do with the days you've been given? These questions are not meant to overwhelm you, but to awaken you. They are a call to action, a challenge to live with intention. Jung didn't just unravel life for himself, he showed us how to do it for ourselves. He gave us the tools to find meaning, to claim our purpose, to live fully. The riddle is yours to solve. The mission is yours to embrace. Start now. Your life is waiting.